Alrighty, get ready with me and let's get into Horus Heresy Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Horus gets injured on the moon of Davin, and really it's all Erebus's fault. Last time we talked, after the Battle of Ulanor, the Emperor kind of declared victory over the orcs and then basically fucked off back to Terra to go work on his garage project, which was the Webway. At this point, he has appointed Horus to be War Master, which, kind of seems like a promotion for Horus, but really he's just delegating the unpleasant task of leading the crusade for humanity to somebody else while he works on what he really wants to work on, which is the Golden Throne and that connection to the Eldar Webway. And Horus is at first excited about this, but then he's just like a little bit concerned because there's sort of daddy issue implications of this as well as brother issue implications. Daddy issues because now that Dad is super preoccupied with everything going on in the Webway, he is not really communicating with Horus anymore about the day-to-day of the crusade, and he's been a little mysterious and hard to reach. And Horus has some suspicions that there's some weirdness in the warp that he hasn't really been briefed on, but who knows? And then brother issues, because there are several of his Primarch brothers, namely Conrad, Angron, and Perturabo, who are really not pleased with the fact that Horus is the War Master and perhaps not one of them. They don't believe he is the most qualified man for the job. And then the other Astartes legions are concerned. They're like, okay, once this Great Crusade project is over, he's going to disband legions, get rid of numbers, basically slash payroll, and bring us down to like a little skeleton crew peacekeeping force. So no one is actually like pleased. Clearly there's a lot going on at the moment for Horus. He's got to make this whole crusade thing look like it's going swimmingly. He's got his own special personal remembrancer out there, and that doesn't go well, spoiler alert. But anyways, things kind of come to a head on the moon of Davin. Davin had already been like conquered for humanity earlier in the crusade, but now the governor of the planet, Yugen Temba, has been corrupted by Nurgle. So the really fun thing is that the Emperor hasn't really shared with any of his sons. I think Magnus, using his special witchcraft, has figured this out at this point, but there's demons in the warp, yes, and they are these dark gods that are in the Webway, and that's a big part of what the Emperor's Webway project and the Golden Throne is. But he hasn't really shared these details in very explicit way with his sons. And on this moon, the Nurgle corrupted governor manages to nearly fatally wound Horus, who, by the way, is a superhuman, right? He is an Astartes warrior. He has the transhuman physiology with the Nurgle corrupted blade called the Anathame. And the Anathame nearly mortally wounds him, and he is kind of fighting for his life. And also doesn't really have a clear idea of the big picture. So like, why am I wounded? I am supposed to be a perfect superhuman. What is happening? But you know who has a much better idea of what the dark gods are up to and the big picture? It's Erebus. Erebus is the chaplain of Lorgar, which is one of Horus's brother Primarch's legions, the Word Bearers. And Erebus, he's a real dick. We'll get into him. He deserves his own entire sidebar, but he's just a real asshole. And he's like, you know what? This is my moment. I'm gonna do it. And he says, Horus, I know something that can heal you. And he takes Horus to what they call the Serpent Lodge, which is basically like a temple to the dark gods on the moon of Davin. And essentially heals him right there. But Horus is not the same after this whole exchange at all. Horus wakes up, he is mostly healed at this point, but he is corrupted. He has a certain kind of like, I don't know how they describe it. I think kind of a demonic ambition. And this is a perfect opportunity, right, for Erebus to just get under his skin and be like, hey man, half of your legions do not respect you as the War Master. There are people here who would love to have that War Master role. And I have a super great idea. There's this little system called the Istvan system, and on the third planet, Istvan 3, there is a city called Coral City. We could go ahead, take it, and then secretly, but also not secretly, just kind of virus bomb like a good third of each of the legions that haven't really like bent the knee to you. And Horus is like, yeah, this is an amazing idea. We should go to Istvan 3 and virus bomb the shit out of everybody. This is already way too long for TikTok, but join us next time for Horus Heresy Part 3. 3 Horus, 3 Heresy, Horus Heresy, Tokyo Drift, I don't know. The one where we virus bomb the shit out of the Luna Wolves and others.